talking about knowing nothing. Big up the page called Mr. After Party. I like it. They post a lot of news and stuff regarding dance music and whatnot. And they posted this particular post that got me kind of hot and bothered. This post said the follows: legends who never age. A tribute to the legends who built this culture are still out there lighting up dance floors from 75 to 48. These artists remind us that passion never ages and music keeps us so young. This is for everyone who believes groove is forever. Me personally, when I saw this list of DJs who are actively still DJing now, you've got Junior Vasquez 76, Jeff Mills 62, DJ Hell 63, Carl Cox, my sworn enemy 63, Paul Oakenfeld 62, Sven Var 61, Laurent Garnier 59, David Guetta 58, Green Velvet 57, Tiesto 56, Loco Dice 51, Armin van Buren 48. For me, I don't like that, because that is like, I wouldn't be proud. I wouldn't be happy if I'm a DJ still touring at that age. There has to be a ceiling. There has to be a cap. There has to be a time where you kind of bow out gracefully and you leave the party before the party leaves you. One of the reasons I think the scene can somewhat feel stagnated, while the lineups can feel somewhat samey, because if you look at lineups like Time Warp, right? Barring any catastrophe, barring anything bad happening, the same kind of block of headliners that play like a Time Warp will probably be playing at Time Warp in the next 10 years. That's what happened. So this version of Legends that we have here on the list, they were playing at all the big lineups. Obviously they're not so many, but they're still playing, and they continue to keep playing. I personally think having that solid group of people playing every fucking year until the day that they fucking die doesn't allow for an opportunity for young, fresh talent to come in and play. That's why the scene is so segmented and all over the place, you know? And you don't really get a lot of fresh faces in a lot of these places until the cycle goes. So, for instance, like the people who are playing now on lineups where Charlotte DeWitt is on there or Amelie Lenz is on there, you're going to have to wait until they're old and grey for you to get an opportunity to play. A young up-and-coming DJ won't get the chance to play alongside or to play in the same lineup going forward as like an Amelie Lenz or a fucking Charlotte DeWitt, because those popular DJs keep playing every fucking year on every fucking lineup. So yes, it's somewhat admirable that these people are old and they're still doing the thing, but I think for the sake of the scene, for the sake of the music, for the sake of the younger generation, it's actually important if the older people step aside from time to time. It's actually good if they like bow out and step aside, because if a Sven Var says, hey, that was fun, glad, I'm gonna, go do other things, it allows a slot to be open so someone else can come and play. But Sven Var is such a big name, he's such a crowd puller, he's such a guaranteed ticket seller, that of course, if you're a promoter, of course you're gonna book him. Of course you're gonna fucking book Sven Var over a random person like me who gets like one play on fucking SoundCloud, of course. But in order to kind of open the doors and to kind of get the funnel going, you kind of have to get rid of the blockage. So if Sven Var steps aside, the person behind Sven Var now, the kid coming up who kind of maybe has a similar sound, is maybe inspired by him, they can come up. And then that also pushes everybody else at the back up a little bit, But if he still stays there until the end of time, you lose people along the way. Whoever's practicing, whoever's trying to get their name out there, they might get discouraged. Like, what's the fucking point? It's another lineup of DJs playing that fucking Warp or Time Warp playing the same lineup again. Like, let me actually check it. Let me actually check it for just the sake of making sure that I'm not chatting out my ass, right? For the sake of making sure I'm not talking out my fucking bum. Let me see. Let me do Time Warp 2025 lineup, right? Let's see what I go on. Was this recently, by the way? I think this was recently, isn't it? Right? So yeah, what have you got there? Time Warp 2025. Acid Paulie, Adam Bayer, Adam 10, Ideal Backspastic Quark, Black Coffee. Is it Black Coffee? Yeah, Black Coffee, Camel Fat, Amelie Lenz, Charlotte DeWitt is there, Clara Couve, Daria Kolskova, Hector Oates. Who else is there? Chloe Chalette, who I like anyway. DJ Heartstrings, I like them as well. Jamie Jones, Loco Dice, blah blah blah, Kiki, Who else is there? Seth Chocolate back to back with Mal P. Mal P might be the youngest guy on the list, actually. Mal P might be one of the only young faces on there. Mal P. Rated. Okay, let's do 2024. Let's see that. Let's do 2024. Time Warp. 2024. Again, same names. Ben Clock, Hector Oaks, I already mentioned before. Adam Beyer again. It seems like Adam Beyer plays Time Warp every fucking year. It's like, do you know what I mean? So it's like, how do fresh talent play? Adam Beyer is like the next version of like a Carl Cox. I don't know how old Adam Beyer is. Adam Beyer is not going to stop playing anytime soon, right? How old is Adam Beyer? Adam Beyer. Sorry, forgive me for not pronouncing your name correctly, sir. Adam Beyer is 49 years old. He's the next crop. He's not going to go anywhere anytime soon. So if you're a kid who's been inspired by Adam Beyer and you want to play, you're going to have to wait until this guy is 70 to get a slot. Or you're going to have to just blow up and become undeniable and go viral or something, then you can go. But there's not going to be like a natural slot for you to fill, because he's still going to be there. He's going to be at Time Warp 2026, 2027, 2028, 2029, 2020. He's going to be there every fucking year, you know? That's the problem, I think, man. That's a little bit of a problem. I don't really think it's a good thing. So as much as I understand why they're kind of bragging about it on Mr. After Party post, right? Well, as much as I understand about why they're bragging about it, I don't think it's a good thing for the industry. Me personally, I also don't think it's a good thing for you, the DJ. I mean, like, I don't know, like, I can't imagine, maybe everybody on that list is sober, but I can't imagine still getting on it in my 60s and 70s. That for me will be a nightmare. Still getting on it in 60s and 70s, still buying a packet, still having a cheeky packet in your pocket, still having like shots and drinks and stuff in the club environment in your 70s, even if you are a club kid, that's an L. I think that's a failure. I'm not gonna lie. You should maybe evolve out of it, maybe open your own club, start your own agency, give back a little bit for all the stuff you've taken, you know, over the years, or you've been given because of your talent, whatever. But I just cannot imagine being on that stage in your 70s. Like, you have to bow out gracefully, man. That's why there's a bit of a rush when you DJ, I think. That's why there's a little bit of a timeline, time limit on it. You kind of have to be in a bit of a rush. Even most of you're a woman and you want to start a family, you know what I mean? You can't have to consider that. You kind of have to you can't really rest on your laurels. You kind of have to go for it and really try, really hustle, really try and make it happen, because there's not a lot of window to really enjoy it. Like, after a certain time, you kind of get, you know, you're not the same person that you were 10 years ago. Maybe the rate, it's a bit, you know what I mean? But I just don't like how much it clogs up the space, because most of these guys, I think all of these guys are active DJs, actively playing right now. So it's like, and they're all popular, they're all well known, they're legendary, they've made seminal tracks, they're a big part of our fucking genre scene, whatever we're loving. Some of them are fucking literal legends. But they got a lot of pull, but they're still playing now. It's how young people are meant to come through. That's my thing. How young people are meant to come through. What are you guys saying here in the stream chat? I feel like big up Don Dota. I had no idea Junior Vasquez was that old. On 10 toes, all that money on designer, and she looks like she dressed like a Lulu, like a Lulu is hilarious. Had what's another one here? Just bought a ticket to Jeff Mills' Liquid Room 30th anniversary. Can't wait. Yeah, that would be good actually. Jeff Mills is still a legend. I saw him play at Fabric once. He was good. I didn't like the way he kind of left though. I'm not gonna lie. Little bit stush, little bit feisty, a little bit. He had a person who basically made sure that nobody in the rave said nothing to him, and kind of, don't get me wrong, maybe he was in a rush to go to another gig, but he, you know, there was very little acknowledgement of the people of like, hey Jeff, we're a big fan. He kind of just had his head down and kind of walked out. I was like, oh, yeah, hello, Mr. Diva, Madam Diva. But it makes sense, innit? If you're Jeff Mills, you'd be a diva too, probably. Big up Don Dutta. Saw Honey D John play 2 weeks ago, and she looks like she's still in her early 30s. I wouldn't say that. I think Honey D John looks her age. I wouldn't agree with that personally. I think Honey D John looks her age, but again, bless her, bless Honey D John. Isn't it Flenvar not pronounced? Oh, is it Var? Okay, I didn't know. It's Fenvar. That's what I said. No, Svenvar. That's what I said. No. Okay, perfect. Bro, DJing is not a young man's game. Yes, it is. You kind of get into it when you're super young. What are you talking about, JSN? It's a young people scene. You get into it super young. That's where the virality and the fucking energy comes from. Yes, maybe the DJs playing are not super young, but the scene is. But they always still start super young, and you just keep doing it over the years. I think so. I don't know. Big Don Dota, Jason. I think they generally do enjoy music and club vibe. Yeah, maybe they do. Maybe they do. Maybe that's something that maybe that's why, in my pursuit of making it as a DJ, my thing is that I want it to be one thing that I do, like one of the things that I do. It's not gonna be the entire thing, because a lot of these guys, all they do is DJ. I want to do other things. You know what I mean? Like if one day I want to open a shop, I want to have a shop. If one day I want to open a restaurant, I want to open a restaurant. If one day I want to open a club, I want to open a club. If I want to continue doing this stuff, I want to continue doing this stuff. But I don't want to only DJ, you know? That's what I would never want to do. But I guess these guys do truly enjoy being in a club environment and DJing, or only. But I just think that's kind of sad, you know? To kind of still be in clubs when in your 70s. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me.